word, actually. To fortify, we know, but you cannot all the time fortify. From this model, they came to here. This is a brand new preschool. You can see it's a bunker. It's a 100% fortified facility. The windows are very high and very small because of the shrapnels. Inside it's very cold. It's like anti-environmental building. It's a bunker. That the kids, if there's a red code alert, they can continue what they do. But still, they have to go from there with the parents to the car. They have to go from there because they eat in the dining room. So it's all the time influencing them. And just to, again, tell you a little bit about the kids, like a smart thing that one of the kids says, or like a joke that he said, that can give you the perspective of how the kids grow up here. After 2012, they did a lot of activities they all the time do with the kids, you know, to process the trauma, and one of the day, one of the meetings, in the morning, the kids come back from the parents' house. They have like a morning meeting, and the kindergarten teacher asks them why it's important to brush your teeth. You all know the answer, right? So I will tell you the right answer. The right answer that what the kid said is that if you don't brush your teeth, there's red code alert. Why? Because last night I didn't brush my teeth and there was a red code alert. So it's like in their life, the kids here, when they play in the yard, they pretend to be adults. We have, my cell phone is all the time open. It's like totally addiction. Besides of the rudeness of doing that, when I have guests and everything, or a meeting at work, all the text messages of what high probability for rockets. There was explosion. The explosion was in the kibbutz. This and this house got affected. Nobody can leave the secure room. Now you can leave the secure room. Don't drive this road. Do that. Do that. All these things come from the text messages that we get from the home front command, from the kibbutz management. So the kids, when they play, they look at they pretend, and they look and they say, it's safe to go out to the yard now. I mean, they play. This is the language. So how do you keep them resilient? How we continue? How we process 2.5 terrible months? In different way. Like I said, the buzzword is resiliency. We have a resilience center that work with the community as community groups, individuals, with teachers, with preschool teachers, helping all of us to find way to process and to reinforce ourselves. In 2006, there was the Second Lebanon War. The army with the Hezbollah in the north. The war finished after 5 weeks. About over 1 million of people in Israel, in the northern part of Israel, were bombarded by the Hezbollah. Army finished the war, went to do whatever the army is doing. The people finished the war, have to cope with being 5 weeks in the shelters. What do you do? And then they started to realize that they have to take care of also of the civilian. And you know, war today is not somewhere far away in a battlefield. It's here. And we see it, like I said, you're now in Israel, you feel the war, you feel it around you. So one of the things the government did is build resilience centers around Israel. Each resilience center had the mandate to offer people therapy in different techniques. The head of the older resilience center is a friend of mine, and she told me, after this war, she told me, you know, we're like out of solutions. I mean, what we have here after so many years, it's not in the books. There's no civilian population living like this, it's not in the books. So they're all the time reinventing methods to deal with it. Because if I can't send my son to school, and if I can't go to work, and if we don't continue our routine, not only that our enemies won, but also we won't be able to function. So one of the things they did, and this is a special thing, and this is where I am, okay? It's the last thing. I know you're hungry, and I'm also need to go, but you have to see it, because nowhere in the world you will see it. They developed a game that when a child, especially 5, 6 years old, come to therapy, you have to start the therapy somehow. And then develop this game. It's called Safe Place, and it's a board game. It's same like Monopoly. You start here, and it's like a city. You have a school, you have a supermarket, you have bus station, you have market, fire brigade, swimming pool. You start here, and let's say you have 3, you come to the school. But if you have 4, there's a red code alert. And whenever there's a red code alert, you have to run for a safe place, which is here or here. You have to run for a safe place. And then when you come to the safe place, you start, they pull the card and they read, and then and the same you have with a surprise. So again, because I think that the big issue is our children, so if you want to take, so somebody can hold it if you want to take more pictures. You can understand from the cards what is the discussion, what we're talking about. And he says every card is like the beginning of a sentence that a child has to complete. And it says here, I saw a house in a neighborhood that the Qassam rocket hit. And then there's 3 dots, and the child continued to talk. Like I said, every child. Every child that play in the playground here can see the shrapnels, the damage of the shrapnels. Another is, tell me a story or start like that. The therapist tells the child. I went home by myself, and suddenly there was a red code alert. To me as a mother, it happened several times. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. You all, especially on times of escalation, you all the time think, what if? What if a rocket will explode on my house and I'm in my sexy pajama? It happened to a friend. It happened to a friend, and you know what she did? Instead of running to her 4 children, she ran to get dressed, because all the neighbors were pounding on the door to see what happened. And there was electricity breakdown because it took the electricity. What you do? What will happen if I go to work? My son stays at home, he's 15, he can stay by every law, he can stay home by himself. And something happened to him. How will I be able to continue to live with that? Not that if I was in the house, I was relevant in any way. I can't do anything if I'm in the house, but I can be there. Now, all these thoughts, they're like paralyzing. So I let him to go buy ice cream by himself in the grocery shop. You saw how close it is from my home to the grocery shop. And there was a red code alert. And I didn't know where he is. And instead of taking cover, I started to run crazy, shouting on this track, on this path, looking for him. And I didn't find him. And then there was an explosion. It was like about 70 yards from my house. You can smell the gunpowder. And me and my father, who came to visit us, were running to look for him. And he was smart enough and trained enough. He went to this workshop that I showed you behind the bus station, that was directly hit in the last war. And he took over there. But I couldn't know that. So all the time, you live in this tension. Yes, I'm done. Finish.
I don't want you to end. I just want to make sure they get to eat lunch before.
Yeah, you should go eat lunch. It's nice to eat in the kibbutz dining room. Once it used to be open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And all our houses were very small because nobody cooked at home. I mean, like, you eat everything you get from the kibbutz, so we also eat together. Now it's different.
Maybe you can end on one optimistic note of sharing. I know it's come up many times today in different forms of why it is that your sisters continue to stay here when they're going to have babies here, and why you continue to stay here, and why people in the South in general stay in this situation.
First of all, it's my home. Each one of you has a place it calls home. It chooses as an adult to live there. And this is my home. This is where I was growing. We did not take nobody's land. It's within the Green Line. It's 100% legitimate Israel. And I love this place. I also, as an adult, after I finished my army service and I did the beginning of my career in Tel Aviv, I wanted to come raise my son here. I have a big family here. My aunt, my uncle, my cousins, my sister. And we all as an adult, also my sister, who came 2 years ago, they thought, you really think that's it? It's going to be quiet. You believe in it. You have to believe in it. Otherwise, you can't continue function. And when I was growing up here, the border with Gaza was an open border. Gaza was governed by Israel, but people used to come walk here. We used to go there. I mean, it was open border. There was no, you'd ride a bicycle there, go to the beach there, go eat hummus there. It was different reality. And on the other hand, if I go, let's say I leave tomorrow. I did not recover from the past war and I leave, I can't take it anymore. So where do I live? We just talked about it. To Tel Aviv, to Gush Etzion, to Jerusalem. Where exactly do I go that it will be safe? We're in a difficult situation in our country. And I believe that it will change. I admit that during the last summer, I lost my optimism several times, but I still believe it can change. I still believe, and I hang up to every bit of peace sign that I can, and you know, not even peace, don't make it like such a big word. Some kind of agreement, coexistent agreement that we can live together with our neighbors. This is my closest neighbors all my life. So I believe I should stay here, and I believe it will change. And I'm trying to raise my son to believe it too, and to take part in conferences like the one you will be on Friday in Tel Aviv, to make him stronger in this belief. That instead of hating the children, in his age, the teenager on the Gaza Strip, to understand that they're in a different way, in a different sphere, they can still be friends, and they can still live together.
Thank you so much, Chen.